I wanted to. You know, the Tolstoy family offered us Yasnaya Polyana to actually shoot at the house. But the Russians didn't offer us was like the $12 million that the Germans offered us. So that was actually in the end won the day. And it was great, and it was great to be in Germany. It was great. But I would love. I would have. It would have been fantastic to shoot it there. I mean, it's Russia's just so huge. You know, it's amazing. You just will go miles and miles and miles through all this land that no one's farming and no one's doing anything. It's just, you know, acre after acre after acre of land just lying fallow. In Germany, everything is cultivated. Every inch of this place is cultivated. It was really, I mean, it brings up, I actually feel anxious when I talk about it because I couldn't find anything that wasn't, you know, watered and plowed and Jesus Christ, these people. Yeah. Anyway, but I'd love to make a movie in Russia, and I'm really excited. We just got Russian distribution, which was actually a really difficult thing for a Russian subject done by non-Russians because they don't like that, and actually, you know, usually I really wouldn't be extremely opinionated about it should be original language and subtitled. I'm like, dub this thing into Russian. Convince these people that Russians were involved in this, that all these I mean, I really honestly think it's important, but I'm thrilled, and I'm thrilled that Tolstoy's like it, and I'm most excited about. They're having a big Tolstoy family reunion, and there's something like 20,000 direct descendants of Tolstoy, or 18,000 or something, really a lot.
18,000?
It's huge. No, if you do the math, it actually works out with 8 children. 2 of the children had 13 children. Right. There's really a lot of them.
Wow.
And anyway, I'm not saying all of them are showing up, but that they're having a massive Tolstoy family reunion at Yasnaya Polyana, and they're going in the summer, and they're going to screen the movie there. And so we've been invited to go to Yasnaya Polyana for the family screening in August. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
We'll have
cool.
to talk about that.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
We just, at a certain point, I said to Sebastian, we need to just lock ourselves in a room for 3 weeks. And we just shot listed everything in a lot of detail and really tried to think in terms of, you know, the way in which the blocking would express, you know, the dramatic content of the scene, and then figure out a way to shoot it in simply, you know, relatively simply and economically. But the one thing that we did that I was really happy about doing was we shot really, really long takes of everything. Instead of shooting pieces, which you often do, you know, I only need this close up from here to here, I would shoot like the whole scene on every angle, which I think sometimes made Christopher nuts. But actually, I think, but a lot of other times, so it made it more like theater in a funny way, is that you could get up ahead of steam and do the whole performance, at least the whole chunk that was in that scene. So that, I think, was pretty, I don't know, I like doing that. Never done it before that way. I'd always tried to be more conservative, but I like doing it that way. I don't know if it probably got exhausting sometimes.
Yes. It was essential, I think, actually, because those kinds of scenes were, you know, big things to go through, and you can't do it in little pieces. You have to kind of work up to it. No, essential.
But then we'd change it, you know, if somebody had a better idea. You know, I mean, in terms of the shot. Like, one thing I really loved, James had an idea that I liked a lot, which was in that scene where Helen falls through the window, which is a scene that's absolutely documented in everybody's diary. It's actually, but anyway, James, the way it was written in the script was James left, when Tolstoy left the room, James left with the doctor and Sasha and Tolstoy. And he said, well, would it work if I just stayed in the room? But you never ever see me until the end. And I was like, yeah, that would work. And it's such a good idea, you know. So wonderful. I'm always for good ideas.
The scenes, but as you say, the way we shot them actually allowed a lot of growth as you shot them. So, but I didn't have a whole lot. I don't think any of us did.
No, we didn't. We kind of had to do all our own homework, and also we had to find a way, and because a lot of us have worked in the theatre, probably all of us have worked in the theatre, we had that understanding that you're in this thing together, and together you live or together you die. So, you know, we understood that we had to make relationships with each other off screen, and you know, maybe do little rehearsals with each other, or talk, or just be with each other and just kind of communicate with each other and not be locked in trailers. I'm not too sure that we even had trailers, actually.
I don't remember ever being in my trailer. No.
The actors were given stools.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I can't get Paul Giamatti to come.
He won't get off his stool.
I can't get Paul Giamatti to go into his trailer.
Am I coming off this stool until?
That's that old joke. There's no more. You can't get Paul Giamatti out of his trailer. I can't get Paul Giamatti into his trailer. It's too depressing. Yeah.
No, it's true. There was a very nice camaraderie between everybody that really did it. I think.
I believe it's an ensemble film. It is an ensemble film. That's what it is, and you know, we all had that understanding.
I remember saying that to Christopher. I said, I think it's a sort of an ensemble. He looked at me and he said, I don't do ensemble.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to give him shit for that.
Yeah, you deserve shit for that.
Well, it's just my voice, actually. I didn't sort of, you know, it's an interesting thing, this whole thing of accents. I recently did a film in which I was playing an Israeli, but speaking in Hebrew, but actually in English, if you know what I mean. So, but you know what I mean. I mean, I'm playing an Israeli, talking to other Israelis in Israel. So what I would be speaking in is Israeli, in Hebrew. But I can't, because it's a movie and people have to understand it, so we're all speaking in English. So then the question is, do we do it with an accent? You know, which is an absurd question, because no, of course you don't, because you're supposed to be speaking in Hebrew. And you wouldn't be speaking Hebrew with an accent, would you? You know, so you should be speaking in English with an English accent.
Right.
But actually, it sounds ridiculous. You know, being an Israeli talking like I'm talking like. It sounds idiotic. So you'd have to do this equally ridiculous thing of putting on a slight Israeli accent. You know, so you know, it's a very interesting question, and it's a question that film people who make films wrestle with constantly. What should be the accent? What should be the voice, in a sense? You know, would you have believed us more to be Russians if we had all been talking like this? You know,
I wouldn't.
I think I did talk like that sometimes, didn't I? That's the choice I made.
So, but thankfully we had a sensible director who, you know, said, no, you all speak with just the way you speak. So that was obviously our decision. Yeah, it was fine. But the other, you know, the other interesting about accents is also because your accent shows your class, and so. Yes, here we all are speaking with American English accents. But, you know, a peasant from that society would not speak with my accent. And then you go, well, what accent would they have? Would they have a British working class accent, an American working class accent? You know, they can't talk posh like I do. You know, they're going to talk like that, like they come from London or something. You know, so you know, then that's another issue you have to deal with. So it's a very, very tricky question. The whole question of what the audience will imaginatively go with, you know, which is not necessarily the logical choice, but sometimes weirdly believable.